Cleveland, Ohio, 1930s. A city crushed under the weight of the Great Depression. Factories silent, families hungry. And in the streets of Kingsbury Run, a rough, lawless neighborhood filled with the poor and forgotten, a darker fear began to spread. Not the fear of poverty, but of something much worse. A killer. One who stalked the night and left behind only pieces of his victims. He would become known as the Mad Butcher of Kingsbury Run. In 1934, Cleveland was a city barely holding itself together. The Great Depression had turned proud workers into drifters, men and women sleeping in shantytowns along the Cuyahoga River. But in September of that year, something terrible surfaced. A young man stumbled upon the lower half of a man's torso near the riverbank. The body had been cleanly severed at the waist, the head completely missing. Police couldn't identify him. No fingerprints, no name, just the work of someone who knew exactly where to cut. A year later, another victim was found. Same signature, decapitated, dismembered, precise. The killer had returned, and the city's nightmares had just begun. By 1935, Cleveland was gripped by terror. Bodies began to appear in Kingsbury Run, a ravine running through the city's east side where the homeless took shelter among the shacks and garbage. Each discovery was worse than the last. A woman found with chemical burns on her skin, as if someone tried to erase her identity. Another man beheaded, with his limbs methodically removed. The killer didn't just kill, he experimented. He studied anatomy, worked cleanly, and always disappeared without a trace. To the police, it was madness. To the people of Cleveland, it was terror. A city haunted by shadows and whispers. Cleveland needed a hero, and in 1936, one arrived. Eliot Ness, the legendary lawman who helped bring down Al Capone, was appointed safety director of Cleveland. Smart, tough, and relentless. If anyone could stop the Mad Butcher, it was him. Ness ordered raids, interrogations, and forensic studies. Hundreds of drifters were questioned. Doctors and butchers were investigated. But the killer stayed ahead, always one step beyond the reach of justice. As bodies continued to pile up, Ness grew desperate. In a shocking move, he ordered the entire shantytown of Kingsbury Run to be burned, an effort to flush out the killer and clear the streets of potential victims. It was a grim sight, a city sacrificing its own to fight an invisible monster. But even fire couldn't stop the killings. By 1937, the death toll had risen. The killer's victims now numbered in the double digits, both men and women, all mutilated with precision. Each new discovery brought fresh fear and humiliation for the police. The newspapers mocked Eliot Ness. The people demanded answers, but answers never came. Instead, another discovery. 2 bodies found on the edge of the city dump. The same horrific pattern, the same eerie silence. These victims had no names, no families searching for them. They were society's forgotten, and their killer knew no one would come for them. He hunted the invisible, and that made him unstoppable. By 1938, after 4 years of terror, Eliot Ness believed he finally had his man. Dr. Francis Sweeney, a World War I veteran and skilled surgeon with a troubled mind. Sweeney fit the profile perfectly. He knew anatomy, he had violent outbursts, and he lived close to Kingsbury Run. Ness personally interrogated him. For hours, Sweeney denied everything, calm, composed, and eerily confident. Lie detector tests were administered. He failed both. But there was a problem. Sweeney's family was politically powerful. Prosecutors feared a scandal. And so, instead of an arrest, Sweeney was quietly committed to a mental institution. After that, the murders stopped. Did Eliot Ness really find the Mad Butcher? Or did he silence the case to protect his own career? We'll never know. But the timing was too perfect to ignore. In the years that followed, no new bodies were ever found. The case went cold, and the legend of the Cleveland torso murders became part of America's dark folklore. Eliot Ness's reputation never recovered. He died in 1957, still haunted by the case he could never close. Today, nearly a century later, the mystery endures. Was Francis Sweeney truly the killer? Or was the real Mad Butcher someone else entirely? A ghost lost in history's fog? Between 1934 and 1938, someone stalked the streets of Cleveland and left behind nothing but shadows and fear. 12 lives, 12 stories erased, their killer never named. The Cleveland torso murders remain unsolved to this day. No justice, no peace, just whispers of a killer who vanished into the night.